Hey everyone, it's Nico with Legacy Realty, your real estate agent and real estate advisor. I hope you're all having a great week, and I hope you're all excited about the fall being here, about the leaves changing, about, if you haven't already seen it on Disney Plus, Hocus Pocus 2. And for someone who is like me or someone who's close to my age, you are probably as excited about it as I am. And I definitely suggest you watch it. And today, I can talk all about the market, about what's going on, but today I actually want to talk about an achievement story. So before we get into that, again, my name is Nico. If you have never seen these videos before, the reason why I do these videos is to teach, train, and educate you guys about what it means to be a buyer, seller, or a real estate investor. And then I also do these videos to help you get to know me a little bit more. And so my mission in real estate, in just work, my purpose is to serve and make an impact as I guide my neighbor through the real estate and the leadership journey. And so today I want to share an achievement story. And the reason why I want to actually share a story is because it's something I look back upon and have deep joy and satisfaction from it. And it is just one of my favorite things to reflect on, because this reflects the way I work and who I am. And it just reflects me and how I work through a transaction and how I work for my clients. And so today I want to share the story of my first real estate transaction, and really how that just was one of my favorite things to work through. And it just, again, looking back on it, gives me immense joy and satisfaction. So really the instance or the activity that brought me deep satisfaction was that I got to help a client sell her brother's home. And so what really got me involved in this was last year. I just had gotten my real estate license, and so it was my first client. And so the way I got involved, I have a friend who's a lawyer, and he had a case where someone had passed away and they had to sell the home of the person who passed away. So the person in charge of selling that home was this person's sister. And so this house that I sold was about like an 800 square foot home, 2-bed, 1-bath, and it was filled to the brim with stuff, with things that had value, with junk. It was a hoarder home. And as we had to actually get the client, my client, she had to get the home ready for the sale. And through that process, she had to go through 8 roll-off dumpsters. She lived about an hour away. So every day for 50 days straight, she was driving an hour to this property to clean out the property. And so they went through 8 roll-off dumpsters, driving 1 hour there and back every single day for 50 days straight, just to get this property ready for sale. And when it was ready for sale, it was not the prettiest property, but we were in a time period last year where even this property went for $50,000 over the weekend. It was crazy. And so this was really hard for my client because it was her brother who had passed away. And so throughout this whole transaction, when we finally got it listed, we were going to close in 2 weeks, which sounds great if you have everything lined up. If everything is perfect, a 2-week transaction for a real estate agent is the best thing ever. But it can also be the most stressful thing ever, because the average close is 30 days. But what I actually did was that 2 days before we were supposed to close, we found out that we needed another roll-off dumpster. And so as I called my client and told her, hey, we need another roll-off dumpster, and luckily the buyer's agent decided to close as long as we take care of all this stuff. They decided to close on time. And so as I called her, she said that she would be by with her husband and her friend later that evening, and that she would get rid of that stuff. And as I was talking to her, I told her that my wife and I would be by later that day to help her, and she told me that we didn't have to. And I pretty much nicely as I could, told her to try to stop me, because it just was something that I knew I could help with. I knew I had the energy for, and I knew I couldn't just sit at home, sitting at home having a nice evening, knowing that my client is going through all this stuff. So it was as we went through this process of me serving her and helping her and doing what I can to make sure everything goes well and smoothly, it was through this process that brought me just joy and satisfaction because I love to serve. I look to make a difference and make an impact in people's lives. And one thing I like to do is excel. And part of being able to excel means going beyond my responsibility, my position, or my work. And so one of my favorite things that my client said to me was when we were at the closing table is that she used to hate real estate agents. And you know what? I don't blame people for hating real estate agents because sometimes there are agents out there who are bad at their job and who are just after a sale and don't look out for their client's interest. And that is just not me. And so that was my favorite thing to hear because I realized I made an impact. And that is what I do for my clients. That is not just a one-off story. That is what I try to do in every single transaction. And so I just wanted to share that story with you guys because it's a story I love. It is one of my favorite transactions. It reflects who I am and it reflects my values. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys ever are looking for someone who is going to guide you throughout the real estate journey, I would love to be that. And just know that I would love to serve you guys and make an impact and do what I can as I did for this client here. So until next week, I hope you all have a great week.